So you've created the perfect marketing campaign. Your team has brainstormed, the light bulbs were flashing. You've never had better ideas. You spent hours perfecting images and finding the ideal type styles until it looks like pure genius. You print out the presentation on your office laser printer and voila, your boss loves it. What do you need a graphic artist for? You've got this. All that's left is contacting your trusted promotional product representative and waiting for the box of goodies to arrive at your door, right? Well, that depends. If you're like most people, you've created this brilliant marketing idea on a typical office or home program, like Publisher or PowerPoint. And if that's the case, you can expect a phone call from your supplier saying, "We're sorry, the quality you wanted is not possible using the art you've created." In other words, they can't use your art. But it looked great when you printed it from your office printer. That's because the home or office program you used to create this brilliant art builds color in an RGB system. RGB stands for red, green, blue. It's the same system used to create colors on your computer monitor. A commercial press, like the one used to print business cards or brochures, uses a completely different system to produce colors, CYMK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, also known as four-color process. The bottom line is, your presentation will print perfectly on your office laser printer, but it doesn't do well on a commercial press. Colors may be less accurate, and the resolution will be inadequate. Cyan, magenta, yellow, and black can be used to create Pantone color matches for spot printing, which is most likely how a pen or a water bottle would be decorated. Spot printing is generally done with a screen or a pad, and while pad printing is typically one color only, screen printing can be done in more than one color. The more colors, the more screens will be needed to create a single multicolor image. That's why these projects are generally limited to 1, 2, or sometimes 3 colors. It's also why the project gets more expensive with every additional color. And as if color weren't enough to tackle, there's the problem of resolution, or the number of pixels per inch. High resolution is essential to get a smooth, clear print. Most programs produce graphics and photos at 72 pixels per inch. The computer screen you're watching this on is typically 72 pixels per inch of resolution. But a printing press requires a minimum of 300 pixels per inch to create a good, clean reproduction. If you don't have a high enough resolution for your graphics, they will look like they have stair-step edges or jaggies wherever there should be a smooth, curved line. And remember that beautiful font your team spent hours deliberating over? Fonts are complicated and often misunderstood creatures. Just because you found the perfect font on your PC, it doesn't mean a graphic design house can reproduce it. Fonts can vary from computer to computer. Therefore, if the font you chose is missing from your recipient's computer, the font will be replaced with a generic one. Typically, a warning or error message will pop up declaring a change. To avoid replacement and achieve the high-resolution output necessary for the printing process, the type will need to be converted to outlines. Now, this doesn't mean an outline of the letter, but rather a way of turning the letters into a graphic object that can be scaled indefinitely without jaggies. So why is it necessary to go through all this trouble? Rather than confuse you with too much math, we'll just show you a picture. See all those dots and lines? There are components of Bezier curves, which make it easier to stretch, tilt, and resize while maintaining the letter's beautiful shape. A Bezier curve is a parametric curve, in other words, a complicated math formula, frequently used in computer graphics and related fields. When linked together, these paths are used to model smooth curves that can be scaled indefinitely, creating vector graphics. Ah, vector graphics. Finally, a term you've heard before. especially if you've ever had anything professionally printed. Common vector image file formats are AI, Adobe Illustrator, and EPS, Encapsulated PostScript. But the most important thing to remember is you don't want to use a raster file like a JPEG or a PNG, TIFF, or a GIF, which use squares of colors to create a shape, or you'll end up with those nasty jaggies we keep mentioning. In fact, most printing houses won't work with anything other than vector art. By now you're probably screaming, "Please stop! Too much information!" That's why you'll likely need a professional to prepare your art for print. We live in an age where you can find a how-to video on just about any topic with a search on YouTube. But if you don't have the correct program and the knowledge to use it, you're better off leaving the final preparations to a professional graphic artist. He or she is not only trained at using the correct program, but also experienced at manipulating design elements like point, line, shape, form, space, color, texture, and composition to create balance and beauty. And you'll receive the benefit of a high-quality piece that reflects the professional image you want to present. We hope this answers any questions you had about preparing your art for print. Feel free to contact our talented art department. We're always happy to help.